Good evening, everybody. How you doing tonight?
Yeah!
Nice. My name is Clint. I'm a stand-up comedian. You should see everybody's reaction. It's always the same. Whenever I tell them I do stand-up. Really? That's so cool. I've always thought of doing it. I mean, I'm a really funny teacher. I bet I would kill on stage. That's when I realized stand-up comedy is a lot like sex. Everybody thinks they'd be good at it, but when they actually do it, it's over too quick and someone's always disappointed. Now I'm 35 years old, and one thing I know. Men don't really change from the time we're boys to the time we're men. Let me give you an example. I slept with more than one girl at the same time. Sorry, it doesn't have anything to do with the story, I'm just bragging. Now, I've been married to my wife for 3 years. And we dated for 3 years before that. And I still say the same thing every time I see her change in front of me. I can see your boobies, I can see your boobies. Now, have any of you ever noticed that girlfriends are like Lay's potato chips? Can't have just one. Unless you get married. And then you're told you never, ever want to have another Lay's potato chip. Now, my wife loves to mess with me, and not in a good way. She'll wake up early in the morning, roll over, and rub her ass up against me, and then get up and leave. Ladies, if you're going to turn on the lawnmower, be ready to cut some grass.
Yeah.
Now, married men, let me ask you something. Has your girl ever caught you masturbating? Okay, so I'm the only honest guy in here. Okay, that's fine. I got big shoulders. Now, my girl caught me the other day, made a big deal about nothing. Right? I'm all trying to be quiet and stealth-like, right? I close my eyes, take the big guy out, think sexy thoughts. All of a sudden here, Clint, what the hell are you doing? We're on the bus! You should have seen some of the looks I got after I finished. Now, fellas, let me ask you. You ever have an argument between your brain and your mouth? Meaning what you should say and what you actually say aren't the same thing. Let me give you an example. My wife and I have been dating for 6 months. She rolls over in bed, she goes, how many girls have you slept with? Now, my brain is screaming, real number divided by 2! Real number divided by 2! But my mouth says 21. She looked at me like she was scraping dog shit off the bottom of her shoe. Now, as Jason mentioned before, once you're with your girl for a long time, you can actually kind of communicate without actually talking. The other day, my wife and I were out with some friends for dinner. I'm feeling a little randy, so I rub her leg underneath the table with my foot and give her a, Now she looks at me and she goes, which means her coochie's broken or she's having her period. So I look at her and go, and she looks at me and goes, now, I'm thinking she gave me the keys to the back door. However, as many of you know, men and women do not always communicate on the same level. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Later, what she told me she meant was, you are a big asshole. Don't get me wrong. I've learned a lot from being married. We've been married for 3 years. I already learned. I don't want to buy a motorcycle, I don't want to backpack through Europe, and I don't want to have a threesome with 2 hot young girls. Now another thing I learned is, girls aren't fat. It's only their clothes that make them look that way. All the guys are like, yeah. I don't know how many times I've seen this. My girl's getting ready to go out, goes up to the mirror, and she goes, and you know, in her head, she's thinking it's that pair of pants that makes her ass look fat. It's not the rice, the noodles, and afternoon desserts with their girlfriends. It's that pair of shitty pants. Any Americans in the audience tonight?
Yeah!
Okay, I'll speak a little slower and explain the jokes better. Now, let me ask you something. Do you ever have an argument with your brain and your mouth, meaning what you should say and what you do say aren't always the same? Let me give you an example. I took my wife and my sister-in-law back to Canada last year for Christmas. While there, we decided to go down to the States for a quick trip. We stop at the border so the girls can get their passports checked. I walk up, take the little ticket, and we all go and sit down. My number gets called, and I walk up. The security guard goes, oh, sorry, as many of you know, American security guards don't have a great sense of humor. In fact, most have no sense of humor. When I walk up, he looks at me and goes, who are those two girls? At this point, my brain is saying, wife and sister-in-law. But what my mouth says is, the tall one's my wife, the short one's my girlfriend. An hour and 2 full cavity searches later, we were on our way. Now, when we went down to the States, we went and saw a movie. Anybody here like one of the movies?
Yeah.
My wife and I love it. We recently just saw that movie, Ted. Anybody seen that?
Yeah.
Right? Little movie about the teddy bear comes to life. That movie's such bullshit. I can't count the amount of times when I was a little kid that I wished and prayed those Playboy Playmates would come to life. Not once did it ever happen. Now, another thing that kind of chaps my ass is that draw something app. Anybody know that one?
Yeah.
Oh, my wife downloaded, she's addicted to it. She wakes me up the other night, 3 a.m. Sweetie, wake up, it's important. Being a loving, caring husband, I roll over, I'm like, what's up? What does this look like? Fuck off! No, it doesn't. So the next day, she's busting my balls, right? I can't believe you would say that to me. I just said, oh, just leave it alone. She looks at me and she goes, you be careful, or I'm going to make your life miserable. Now, let me ask you ever have an argument between your brain and your heart? Meaning what you should say and what you do say aren't always the same thing? At this point, my brain's saying, sweetie, I love you, I'm sorry. My mouth says, we're already married, how much worse could it get? Boy, was I wrong. Now, one of the things I love about Taiwan, I've been here for 7 years, and I realize this. People in Taiwan love a bargain. You've seen those long lineups, right? Love a bargain. Never really realized how much people in Taiwan love a bargain. Until I spoke to one of my friends. He told me his grandfather was a general in the Taiwanese army. Not so special. However, he had 2 wives. I don't mean like now, one in Taiwan and one in China for business. I mean 2 wives in Taiwan in the same house. And they were sisters. Wow. He was so happy to get a 2-for-1 deal on sisters. That's not easy to do. I've tried. I'm going to hear it later for that one. The other thing I love about Taiwan is how people here, they don't judge you very much. They're so accepting. Let me give you an example. 2 grown men on a 90cc scooter in Taiwan isn't gay. In Canada, just 1 grown man on a 90cc scooter might be gay. But 2? You might as well be wearing pink spandex, a rainbow top, listening to Elton John, driving in San Francisco. Thank you very much, everybody. That's it.